Good morning, gardening friends. I'm Lark, and I'm in Wisconsin, Zone 5, for a Tea Time Tuesday tour. We're starting in the front yard. With that vine that's on the arch, that is one season's growth. That is the sweet autumn clematis. Blooms around August and is very aggressive. But that's perfect for that arch there, because I cut it down every year. And some annuals and perennials on the side. I'll show you when we go up there. We'll start over by the flagpole, and I had told you that I left most of the seeds in here that dropped of the Victoria Salvia. And I'm concerned about the bloom, if it'll bloom well because it's so crowded. It's starting to bloom, so we'll see. The Mexican sunflower is in the center, and I don't think it's setting bud yet. But those, I got those in there late, and they were really tiny, only a couple inches high. This is larkspur that has reseeded for the last maybe 10 years or so. I take out whatever white or pink is in there and try to let just the dark purple or blue reseed. Calendula. And when it starts looking like this, going to seed, I pick it off and it branches out and produces more flowers. Here's one I must have missed for a couple days. That's how it looks. I will let them start to reseed probably in late August or beginning of August, so it really gets some dry seed on it. Diablo 9 barks, they're setting their berries, and this is the first year that Dave's not trimmed off the flowers afterwards. Those will all be berries, and I bet we're going to get a lot of reseeds in this bark mulch. And if these Diablos reseed, they will not come true, so you have to watch the plants that do reseed. If they're dark burgundy red, then you can transplant them where you want, and if they're more of a green, then I leave and pull them out and just compost them. The maintenance on this path here this time of the year is deadheading, so I get bloom until a hard freeze. In that, I take off the flowers and I just push them under the plant, let them feed the soil. This is a short variety, only 8 inches that I bought. This is a taller variety that, years ago, maybe 8-10 years ago, I got from Baker's Creek. Now, I can't save seed this year from this. I think I explained it last video because they might have cross-pollinated. And I just want the tall ones. So, that's what I do, deadhead. Back here are plum pudding, purple what, Majesty? Corabels. But the bunnies live under here sometimes. And this is an extra close feast for them. So all the corabels that are close to this gold-tipped juniper, they come out their door and they eat on my corabels. Some of the salvia, that Victoria blue, has reseeded. I drop seed over here. And next year, this fall, I'm gonna drop more of that blue salvia in here and just pull out what I don't want. I think it would be pretty in this path. Just have to find room where it's gonna come up. Or it'll come up on its own and I'll pull out what I don't want. I cut back the catmint. If you look, let's say 3 weeks ago, this was all blue in here. I cut back the catmint to where I saw new growth, and it will rebloom and get nice and full. The Russian sage is setting flower right now, and These are some plants that I had my boys dig out part of the clump, so they're not very big. In here is bachelor buttons that need deadheading daily, and I have not been out here. They'll keep blooming for me. But the main feature is going to be the Mexican sunflower. It will be blooming orange as the marigolds bloom the short orange. That'll be my focal point, mostly orange. Whoops, I'm sorry. Autumn Joy sedum is also in here, but in parts it has rotted. Let's see if I can find a rotted one. Too much water, and I don't know, maybe the soil's more clay-like where the rotted ones are. But this should all be sedums for late in fall color. Do you remember the basket of gold in spring? This is an alyssum, all yellow. The plants really are thriving. Now, sometimes they overwinter, some of them, so I let them really do what they want to do right now. So come spring, I at least have some. Okay, potentillus. Whoa, they are doing awesome this year. It's got to be all the rain we had. But Japanese beetles, this is the prime place that my Japanese beetles visit. They like this yellow. And when I had Graham Thomas rose, they loved that one. So when Graham Thomas didn't come back, I did not replant it. Spireas are reblooming because Dave cut them back. Blue carpet junipers, doing good. Ooh, the PG hydrangea tree is. Can you see it setting bud there? Pretty. It's going to be pretty. Okay, where shall we go here? We'll do the veggie garden. That can be quick. My arch with scarlet runner bean climbing on it. Keep picking the beans and they will keep producing those pretty red flowers that make the nice edible beans. Raspberries are at a lull right now for me. The new growth is setting bud now, and the old growth is pretty much done giving me raspberries. But now they're setting bud, and this is when the calendula that are around here and the gloriosa daisy and the scarlet runner bean, all those flowers attract bees to pollinate my raspberries. And we surely have had enough rain that they are thriving this year. Lavender, unpicked. I guess it wasn't a priority. Tomatoes are awesome. I am starting to get blight. Now those are probably about, I don't want to exaggerate, 8 feet, 9 feet tall. Those are Juliet. And no, I do not take my leaves off until I start seeing signs of blight. Now Juliet is a larger cherry tomato and it is less prone to early blight. On the other hand, Brandywine is very prone to blight. My favorite. And with all the rain, I am surprised we don't have a lot of blossom end rot on these. But we don't. So far, so good. So I see a blight leaf in there, and I will thin it out. inside of all of this, and I know they need air circulation, that's why I'm taking off some leaves, I have Celebrity. And they're full in there of tomatoes. And I don't purposely want to plant my tomatoes so close, but with crop rotation, I don't have that much room over here on the west garden, so that's what happens. This is the Japanese red mustard going to seed. I put calendula in with the tomatoes, as I do basil. It's a new planting of basil. Swiss chard's in there. This is another cherry. This is Chadwick. And Patrick, I think I'm going to try your Sweet Million next year and see if, well, I know it will give me more tomatoes. You showed me that. So I will try the Sweet Million next year. This is basil I planted, from a grocery store, hydroponics. And it's doing okay. It gave me basil for a long time until my basil started coming in. There's my basil. I think that one's sweet, Geneva. I'm going to have a tomato pretty soon. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato coming up. That one's big beef and Amish paste. I'm very lucky that I can have more veggies growing down in the bog area. They do differently, different years. This year, the birds are deciding to, I think it's the birds, correct me if I'm wrong, that are nipping at my beans that are growing up the chicken wire. Seems like just the leaves are affected. I hope they come back. I would think they'd sprout out where the leaf nodes were or are. My fall crop of radishes and Swiss chard, spinach, kale. We've been getting some heat here the last couple weeks. Today it's cooler in the 70s, but we were getting high 80s. So then I covered those because they were such young plants. I have chicken wire and to support the row cover. The chipmunks were getting in there. Lots of storms. My onions are laying down. I hope they keep growing. I know if they snap though, they stop growing. Am I right or wrong? Or slow the growing down? Carrots are okay. Whoa, my goodness, one's going to seed. I think I'll have to look at that one. They're not growing very good in here. The tree roots over by my neighbor's property love coming over to my garden. And I have the lasagna method of amending my soil, and it does quite well, but I'm constantly putting out roots. Borage, another good pollinator, plus we eat the flowers. I tried eating the young leaves, which are edible, but they're too hairy. Even the little ones are too hairy. Peppers, whoa, they got hit by hail, but they're doing okay. Kale, broccoli, cucumbers. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at the leaf. No wonder they got hit by hail. They were a prime target. Those are the Japanese long one. And I think I might have a couple market more in there too. Yeah, I think I do. Up there I see one. So I hope I get a good pepper harvest. I didn't start them as early as I did last year. Sage, I told you, died back last year. These are new plants. My spearmint, main ingredient in my mojito. My husband says, I always ask for extra mint in my mojito. He says, Lark, it looks like a salad in your glass. Holy basil. Oh yeah. Needs harvesting again. I'm drying it. I drink it daily, the tea. Malabar spinach. Red veined. Doesn't get as much sun anymore. Dill. That will be coming out, and at the base I started some new dill maybe 10 days ago. More holy basil. More broccoli. Or what else? Swiss chard back there too. Oh, and in the little holes of the cinder block I planted more cilantro, parsley. I don't see any of that coming up here. Tatsoi and corn salad or mash. Hoping for a cool weather harvest. Comfrey's back there, and I am harvesting it and setting up oil infusions. The bee balm will get cut down, and then the black-eyed Susans will be the star here. And wheat. There's jewelweed in there too, which will get a nice orange flower on it. We have woodchucks we're trying to trap too, live trap. Seen a couple babies. We got one so far, but that was about a month ago. Daylilies. Now back here, I am spreading seed in between all of the golden, what hosta is that? Sum and Substance. See that? For spring color, I spread the celandine poppy. Reseeds a lot. Then I'm throwing feverfew back there for white later on after the celandine's done. And I'm also putting in great blue lobelia for fall color. So through, give me a couple years, and if you're still watching me, we'll see this fill in with aggressive plants. So I have little work to do. I also let the borage reseed in here. Less work, maybe we'll stay here longer. Oh, I know what other seed I'm going to throw back in here too. More of the perilla, because it seems to do okay in part shade. Easy to pull if you don't want it, but it's better than looking at weeds. New plant this week that's blooming is Culver's root. And I wanted more of it back here because that white really lights up this semi-shady area. But this aggressive grass, it's a miscanthus, but it's a runner. And I do have galvanized steel sunk in the ground around it, but it escaped. So I got to get in there and cut it down and then use the nasty R thing on it. I hate to even say the word, and I won't say the word. So back here, things bloom later. So as this perennial bed is blooming in full sun, this back corner isn't blooming yet. So what happens is, I'd say in about a week or so, back in this corner where it gets very little sun, my phlox will be blooming. And as you saw, Culver's root, there's some Joe pie back there. And I'm going to let the bee balm go crazy too. So if I have several go crazy plants, like the spring daisies, the oxeye daisies, and the bee balm, and the perilla, and the feverfew, I will, and the great blue lobelia and black-eyed Susans, all aggressive plants take over, or mostly take over. I will have color all the time, and it will be more naturalized. And since I have a natural area back there, I'm thinking that it'll be okay, because it'll flow right into the wild area. These reseed nicely too. Now, when I said I have a lot of aggressive plants, what I'm doing is, after the daylilies bloom, I will go around them and put newspaper with grass clippings on them, thick newspaper, and mulch around them, so plants don't invade their space, because the daylilies are great performers and so hardy. So with the hibiscus and the daylilies, I will start putting newspaper and grass clippings around them so they do have their own space. Does that make sense? And the spiderwort, we just really pull out a lot of it. And because I left it bloom so long this year, I bet I'm going to have a lot of reseeds. I hear the cranes. The last of the alliums, and they'll be blooming probably in about a week, are pink, or like a lavender pink. So we'll see those showing up soon. This is a, they call it a shell pink balloon flower. I really thought it was getting white, but it's called shell pink. Asters are saying, oh, I'm going to give you a show pretty soon. Now, in with this spiderwort, I see are some balloon flowers, and that's exactly what I don't mind, is it reseeding itself. Uh-oh, I think I'm going to be walking into the sun, because I didn't come the gateway. If I come through the gate, then we get less washout from the sun. This is the great blue lobelia. It'll be pretty, promise me, pretty soon. And since I didn't cut back half of it for later bloom, it's going to bloom probably in August. I better walk faster. This area is the one I'm working on. I dug in some of my green kitchen waste around those tiny, tiny corabels. Not where the root system is, but far enough away. And then I mulch with grass clippings. Tore out that one pink sedum I was telling you about, and I'm going to let the snow in the summer take over right there. Or I'm going to put this Angelina ground cover over there. Oh, the, what do we call them, tiger? Lilies. So pretty. I should be able to get up under one, so it's, most of you know what a tiger lily is. Tiger lily. More of that sedum. And isn't that pretty how the gloriosa just reseeded itself there? So far the only new flower I showed you was blooming this week is the CULVER'S root. Otherwise, I'm deadheading and prolonging bloom and trying to get to cutting back things like the spiderwort. There's a spiderwort right in there. See the stubs? And this here is the geranium reblooming, cranesbill. Liatris, whoops. That I'm going to do the newspaper around too, because it's getting choked out. We'll do newspaper around you, so you get your own space. Now in here, there's not many daylilies and a lot of grass in here. So I'm going to be digging out and putting in some transplants of daylilies. And then doing the newspaper method around them. And I know I won't get all the grass, but at least around the new plants of daylilies, I will get the grass to die. I think I have some more CULVER'S right back here. Little bit. One looks like it's dying. And then the bunnies were eating some of them, so I had a little structure I put around them. And I see they're going to bloom. That's the plant there. That green, right there. They'll bloom shorter. So that's with a lot of perennials. If you don't like the height, if they're too tall, then cut them back by a third maybe, and then they'll bloom shorter for you. I mean, you could cut them in half too and still get bloom. It'll just be shorter bloom. And if you get phlox like I did that reseeded in the front of the garden, then that's a good idea to cut it back, and I should do that next year. I just didn't get at it, I guess. More of the method around that liatris with the newspaper and grass clippings. That way I don't have to use the nasty R stuff on the ground. Bee balm served its purpose, and in here, see how it's in the barberry? I will be pulling that out. I will just yank it out after a nice rain and get rid of it and hope it spreads the other way. Oh, I love white this time of the year because now we start getting more shade. I have a south exposure, but I have a lot of big trees, so the white really brightens up the area. Hibiscus, Copper King. I have to look for Japanese beetles on that one. This is a sweet autumn that I said, the aggressive white clematis on that front arch. That's on a structure in the garden. And I really am mean to it and give it haircuts all season long. But that white in fall is going to look awesome there. See the partial shade in the white? And the nasty bishop's weed that I'm trying to get rid of in there. Bishop's weed and clustered bellflower. Bishop's weed I did not plant. It came in on somebody's plant, but this clustered bell I thought was so pretty I did plant it, and nobody warned me. So I warn you, no clustered bellflower unless you have cement around it. and it